Hey guys, what's going on? Main Event Matt here to bring you guys my SmackDown review for tonight's episode of Thursday Night SmackDown. Very good. This is going to be the second to final SmackDown until Roadblock. And I just want to say, in an amazing main event, I really like SmackDown. It was 10 times better than freaking Raw. 10 times better. I didn't skip a single match. That's how good tonight's SmackDown was. But I really liked a lot of it. Like I said, the main event was fucking awesome. Kevin Owens going one on one with Dean Ambrose. That was a badass freaking match. But I mean, anyone could have guessed that. It really wasn't a bad match either tonight either, which is what I really loved. It's probably because there's no fucking 6-man tag. For once in a lifetime, there's no 6-man tag on SmackDown. I know, crazy, right? But the show kicked off with Dean Ambrose coming out there cutting a promo talking about how, sometimes he likes to react. He doesn't have no 5-month plan, 5-year plan. His plan is more like a 5-second plan. And most of the time, it doesn't pay off for him. Gets his ass kicked by Brock Lesnar, gets thrown through a windshield. That didn't pan out for him. Getting his ass beat on Raw by Triple H didn't pan out for him, but the aftermath did because he's got a title shot at Roadblock, and he could walk out the champion. He's just throwing a wrench into everyone's plans. He's screwing up everyone's plans because they've already got the posters and everything made. Triple H versus Roman Reigns. But in reality, it could be Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar, Dean Ambrose versus Triple H. Hell, it could be Dean Ambrose versus all three of them in one night or all three of them in one match. It don't matter. They can throw down the cage, put all 4 people in the ring, put the belt on the line. Let's get down. Dean Ambrose don't give a shit. He don't care if he walks out with the belt. It seems like he just wants to beat the shit out of everyone. Love Dean Ambrose's gimmick. It's great. A lot of people say that they're ruining Dean Ambrose right now because he loses so much. I disagree. I think they're doing a great job with booking Dean Ambrose because they're more or less not focused on his win-loss record, but more focused on his character and how he reacts. And having him come out here limping down to the ring, sitting in the freaking chair to cut this promo because he's so goddamn beat up, but he still doesn't care. He's still going to come out on the show and give you a freaking promo. He's going to sit down there. He's going to fight Kevin Owens in the main event. He doesn't give a fuck what he does to himself. He doesn't give a fuck if he breaks his goddamn arm. He's still going to come out there in a cast and whoop ass. And that's what I love about Dean Ambrose's gimmick. It's great, amazing. Kevin Owens comes out, cuts him off, basically says Dean Ambrose is a nut job. And Dean Ambrose tries to give Kevin Owens advice because Kevin Owens is complaining because he doesn't have a suitable opponent for WrestleMania. Yeah, you don't. Big Show's definitely not suitable. And then Ambrose says, well, I'll give you some advice. If you challenge Brock Lesnar, wear a helmet. Kevin Owens then goes on to say, I don't need your advice, Dean. You're everything that's wrong with the WWE nowadays. I love it. Kevin Owens by far best heel in the company right now, in my opinion. He gets the most heel heat out of anyone, like superstar wise, anyways. I don't know. Yeah, probably Kevin Owens easily gets the most heel heat in my opinion. That's supposed to get heel heat. Otherwise, Roman Reigns gets more heat. But I mean, Kevin Owens is the one supposed to be getting heat. So there you go. But very great segment. Then Kevin Owens goes to cheap shot Dean Ambrose while he's sitting in the chair in the ring. Ambrose ducks it, hits him with the chair, and then proceeds to grab the mic and say something like, hey, moron, there's that big screen behind you. I can see you coming from a mile away. I love that. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, he obviously could see Kevin Owens running at him from behind. Like, that's why I was wondering, like, how do they time that right? But the fucking Titantrons right there. First match of the night, we get Usos taking on Sheamus and Rusev. And normally I skip the League of Nations match because they're boring as shit, but I thought Usos, why not? Sounds somewhat interesting. And like I figured, this is all tying into a Fatal 4-Way for the Tag Team Championships, which is going to be great. I'm guessing for sure they're going to split up Y2, AJ, whatever. I know they made him a t-shirt, but that could just be a swerve to split them up. I think it's eventually going to lead to the League of Nations, which is probably going to be Sheamus and Rusev or Sheamus and Alberto versus the New Day, the Usos, and the Dudley Boys. And I'm going to guess this is going to be a Fatal 4-Way TLC match. match, tables match, one of those two. And I think this will be really good. I think it'll be very interesting. If it's a tables match, it better be tag team tables elimination match. That would be very interesting. But I thought this was overall a decent match. It wasn't like too many big highlights till the Usos started throwing like 1,000 freaking super kicks. Like the whole match broke down. One of the Usos did the splash to the outside. Then the other Uso goes out there, super kicks one of them. Sheamus comes running off the steps, gets super kicked out of midair. Barrett tries to get up on the apron to distract him, gets super kicked off the apron. It was just, I'm just sitting here thinking right now, am I watching the Usos or am I watching the Young Bucks? Of course, I had to be wearing a Young Bucks shirt, so it just worked out perfectly. But am I watching the Usos or am I watching the Young Bucks right now? They're just throwing a fucking super kick party. Why don't they invite the Young Bucks and we get Young Bucks versus Usos? I think that'd be badass. Super Kick City right now, pulling a little page out of the repertoire of Brock Lesnar there, promo wise. But yeah, I think they should freaking. The Usos, I just love them mainly because they throw all those super kicks. If they don't throw super kicks a bunch in a match, then I don't give a fuck what they do. But when they start throwing super kicks, I all of a sudden like the Usos. He ends up going for the Uso splash, and then Sheamus puts the knees up, and then gets up. Fala hits him with the brogue kick. 1, 2, 3. The League of Nations pick up a win, which they're obviously pushing them, trying to rebuild them back up for WrestleMania. So they're either going to do the League of Nations versus New Day 1-on-1 or 2-on-2, whatever you want to call it, or what I'm thinking, the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match, which is either going to be tables or I hope TLC. That would be awesome. There's speculation of them having a ladder match for the IC belt. Why don't they just fucking do a ladder match for the tag titles? Again, I loved that match before. But I really think that would work out good. Like I said, I thought this match was very interesting. But that's not it. Because out comes the Dudley Boyz. And the Dudley Boyz are carrying a table. Yes, they said that we were never going to see them grab a table again. And they're carrying the table down the ring. Whatever. But they do not break the table. They get in the ring. They start beating down the Usos. I think the New Day is going to come out. I think that was too early though for the New Day to come out and attack the Dudleys or anyone. It wouldn't really make any sense. If they're going to attack anyone, it'd be the League of Booty. But the Dudleys start beating down the Usos, set up the table like they're going to put them through it. Then Bubba Ray just big boots them in the face, and then they knock over the table. And they say something like, "Remember when we said it wasn't personal? Well, we lied." So I thought it was great from the Dudleys. I like the Dudleys, even though they're not putting people through tables anymore. Some people are probably like, fuck the Dudleys now. They're not using tables. But I really like the Dudleys, and I think if anyone should be facing the New Day 1-on-1 or 2-on-2 for the tag belts at Mania, it should be the Dudley Boyz. Then after that, we get Dolph Ziggler taking on The Miz. And this match, like I figured, was literally like a minute long. Now, I think they're hyping up this to be like a feud at Mania, like a small, like lower card feud. Dolph Ziggler 1-on-1 with The Miz at Mania. Most people hate The Miz. I don't really like him either, but I know him and Ziggler can put on a good match because I've seen it before. Him and Ziggler have great matches. So, I mean, I'm interested in the match, not the build-up, but I'm very interested in the match. This match, though, tonight only lasted a minute, because Dolph Ziggler this time gets the quick pin on The Miz. The Miz starts off real fast trying to beat Ziggler, like hits him with a big boot, gets a really close 2 count. And then he sets him up in the corner, goes for that corner clothesline thing that The Miz does. And Ziggler catches him mid-move when he jumps into the corner, which is completely badass. I love this. And counters it into a backslide pin and gets the 3 count, which I thought was really great. Nice and short. Not a big fan of Ziggler, so I'm not a big fan of The Miz either. So I mean, I ain't a fan of either of these two wrestlers, but I know they put on good matches, so I'm not gonna complain if we have this match at Mania. I think it'll be interesting. Then we get Goldust and RTruth backstage, and there wasn't really much to this. RTruth was in catering. We didn't get to see Zack Ryder. That kind of sucked. But RTruth was in catering, and he was getting food. He got himself a steak. Then he seen Old Dust sitting over there. Tried to talk to him, tried to be nice to him, and said that he wanted to form Golden Truth. And then Goldust just thought he was playing him, and then ended up throwing his own food in his own face. So yeah, take that however you want. Then next after that we get Becky Lynch taking on Sasha Banks. This was a really good match. There was three really good matches tonight. The last three matches on the card were really good, and I think that's why I really like SmackDown. But Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks always kick ass against each other. Charlotte came out mid match, and she ended up ending the match by Ric Flair after they'd done the double clothesline spot on the outside, which I figured. I figured they were going to do a double count out. I believe I said that in my Raw review. But it didn't happen because Ric Flair's old ass came over there and started wooing in their faces. So then they got up and tried to attack Ric Flair, which I kind of figured this would happen. Charlotte comes up and elbows them both in the back at the same time, causing a double disqualification, and then attacks them both. So we still don't have a number one contender. Obviously setting up for a triple threat at Mania. It would be badass as shit if we could get Bayley in there too somehow, but that won't happen. So we're going to get a triple threat for the Divas title at Mania. Can't wait for that. That match is going to be awesome. Like I said, a lot of cool freaking spots in this match, though. She countered the roll-up Sasha did at one point into the bank statement, and I thought Becky was gonna tap out there. If it wasn't for me hearing that it ended in a draw, and like I figured it was gonna end in a draw, I would have figured Becky would have tapped out there. She got really close, and then there's this one spot where Sasha went to kick her, and she caught her into the Bexploder suplex. A lot of cool roll ups back and forth like usual in their matches, and just a lot of cool spots in general. Like I said, so they did a really good job with this match. I can't really mention all the spots because I can't really fully remember them all, but overall it was a really good match. I like the ending too. Then after that we get Kofi Kingston taking on AJ Styles. And just sitting here thinking about this match, you wouldn't think it was very good. I loved it. I thought it would be epic, and it turned out to be pretty dang good. We had Kofi Kingston, AJ Styles, but of course the New Day's got to cut their promo beforehand, and they're talking about how miracles can happen, like the League of Booty winning a match tonight. I know, right? And then talking about Jello and how it's a miracle somehow, and that was hilarious. And then they move on to talk about how the New Day enjoys like the good things in life or the miracles or whatever, and eating your Bootio cereal. Of course, they had to mention the Bootio cereal. God damn it, WWE Shop, come out with some cereal already. But then, of course, the New Day's cut off by AJ Styles' music. AJ comes out. He's not accompanied by Jericho because Jericho's on like some tour or some fan greet thing. I don't know. But we end up getting a really solid match between AJ Styles and Kofi Kingston. A couple really cool spots that I really liked. I really liked the starting, of course, when Xavier's over there mouthing off to him, because if you know the history between Xavier and AJ, it just makes it even better because they used to wrestle each other in TNA and stuff. So it just makes it hilarious. And then AJ ends up jumping on the outside onto Xavier Woods, taking him out after AJ tried to rip the freaking trombone out of his hands. Of course, that caused Kofi to capitalize, drop kicks him down. Then, of course, he has to throw up the glove taunt that AJ does. And I don't know if anyone knows this, but AJ Styles replica gloves are now for sale on WWEshop.com. I think that's awesome. I was waiting for them to put them up. I know TNA used to have them, but I think they sold out now, finally. But now WWE's got them up, and that's awesome. I got to get me a pair if they go on sale at all. Because right now they're $20. If they go on sale, I'm for sure getting them because 20 is not that bad already, and I think it'd be cool. I'm gonna get those and some New Day socks. But I thought I thought this match was really cool. Like I said, I had a lot of cool spots. Kofi ended up hitting the SOS, got a really close 2 count. I really like that. AJ Styles, of course, throwing a bunch of forearms and did that knee breaker fireman's carry move that Amaro called like some Japanese name, and I didn't even know that there was a Japanese name for it. But he called it, I don't even remember what he called it. Then there's this really cool spot to where Kofi Kingston was doing the unicorn stampede by himself. Like he just starts stomping him, and then he'd go out on the apron, walk around, and then go back in and keep stomping him. And then he acted like Big E was throwing him across the ring and then back into the drop kick, and it was hilarious. And then towards the end of the match, Kofi ends up going for the Trouble in Paradise AJ Styles ducks it and catches him with the Pele, which looked freaking awesome. Then AJ goes to run at him in the corner. Kofi throws him out. Xavier Woods tries to interfere. The ref sees it, ejects Xavier and Big E, but before they can get up to the backstage, AJ Styles hits him with the springboard forearm. 1, 2, 3, pins him off the springboard forearm. I don't know what that's about. I heard a rumor that they're getting rid of the Styles Clash, but apparently AJ Styles corrected that on Twitter. What I think they're doing is they're just trying to use that less and make it more of a big match type scenario move like they use at pay-per-views. I think they're just trying to make him mainly win with the calf killer and maybe the flying forearm some too, because that looks like a badass move. So I can understand why they would try to use that to pin some people. But like a real main eventer, like you can't have him pin him with the flying forearm because everyone knows that's AJ Styles' signature move, not his freaking finisher. But overall, I thought it was a really good match. And then the New Day tries to attack him afterwards, and AJ Styles, of course, quickly gets out of there like he did against the Social Outcasts. I like that, how he escaped them. And we'll just have to see how it goes on Raw. I honestly think the New Day is going to retain because I think either the League of Booty is going to come out there and DQ the New Day, causing them to retain their belts, like attack the New Day, or we're going to get AJ Styles turn on Chris Jericho. One of those two. But then after that, we get a Bray Wyatt promo, and apparently now Bray Wyatt's confirmed to face Brock Lesnar at Roadblock. And I'm just sitting here thinking, WrestleMania's card would be so much simpler if they kept the Shane and Undertaker match, and then they had Triple H versus Dean for the belt, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, and Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt. Why the fuck couldn't they do that? Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. We've never really seen it before, like one-on-one, or at least seen the ending. I guess we had that lumberjack match, but we've never seen like an ending to it. So I'd love to see Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, and then Roman Reigns could win a title. He could beat Kevin Owens for the belt. Then we could have Dean Ambrose versus Triple H for the world title. Dean Ambrose could beat him. Roman Reigns could go on to challenge Dean Ambrose for the belt after Mania, setting up for a huge feud to go on. Intercontinental Champion versus WWE Champion, WWE title on the line. Somewhere down the line, Roman Reigns could lose the belt, and then he could win the title off of Dean Ambrose, something like that, and we'd have a badass feud between Brock Lesnar and Bray Wyatt. I don't know why the hell they couldn't have done that. That sounds so much better than what the fuck they have right now. Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, Dean Ambrose, Triple H, Shane McMahon, Undertaker, and Brock Lesnar, Bray Wyatt. That sounds like a better card than what they have right now, which we don't even know what the fuck they're going to finally go with. Apparently right now so far it's Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose and a no holds barred. But that could all freaking change if Dean Ambrose somehow walks out with the belt, which I highly doubt he will, but I think they're going to make Ambrose look strong going into it. But Bray Wyatt cuts a decent promo here, actually making sense towards Lesnar. See, when he has a direction to go in, he can make good promos, and maybe WWE Creative should think about that and let Bray Wyatt face Brock Lesnar next time. But whatever. Then we get the main event, which is Kevin Owens going one-on-one with Dean Ambrose. And I'm just going to say Dean Ambrose can sell the shit out of injuries. He had his ribs taped up. He had his arm taped up. And he was just selling the shit out of it the whole time. I love it. Ambrose even had to take a breather at the start and pull a heel move there and walk out of the ring because he got hit in the ribs and he played it off so well. He had to get out of the ring and walk around the ring and grab his ribs because he was hurt. And I loved how they did that. It doesn't make Ambrose look like a bitch if he goes out the ring and grabs his ribs because he's got taped ribs because he got slammed on a fucking windshield. So, I mean, not that big of a deal. I thought it was really great. And then Ambrose gets back in the ring. Later in the match, he hits a couple suicide dives, which I think is ridiculous. And he's grabbing his ribs afterwards, selling it too, which I love. A really good spot throughout this match is Dean Ambrose kept working up, trying to get the dirty deeds, but they would play it off like his arm, the bandaged arm, he couldn't hold him in the lock because of his arm was hurt, so Kevin Owens could just power out of it easily, which I thought was a really great setup. Towards the end, there was a lot of shit. There was like a freaking senton on the outside. Kevin Owens hit him with the cannonball, of course. The second suicide dive, Kevin Owens caught him and freaking slammed him back first into the apron. They just played this match out really well. Kevin Owens also, I believe, towards the end, Dean Ambrose went for another Dirty Deeds. Kevin Owens spun out of it, hooked the arm of Ambrose, sent Ambrose off the ropes. I thought he was for sure going to hit him with the puppet powerbomb here. Ambrose counters into the Hurricanrana, but then Kevin Owens gets back up before Ambrose because Ambrose is injured, you know. And then when this happens, Dean Ambrose gets hit with a super kick. Then Kevin Owens goes for the senton. Dean Ambrose sticks his knees up, catches Owens in the back, and then hits him with the Dirty Deeds. Finally connects with it and gets the 1, 2, 3. Now I will say I thought it was stupid that Ambrose won here. They should have just played it off like Ambrose was too hurt. He couldn't get the win. It wouldn't make him look bad, in my opinion. It still makes him look badass because he fought the match with freaking Intercontinental Champion Kevin Owens. It would have made Kevin Owens look better because he defeated the man that's going to fight Triple H at freaking Roadblock for the belt. But I mean, whatever. The SmackDown loves to just let the faces win all the time. So I mean, it's whatever. But I really think Kevin Owens should get more wins than he does. And Dean Ambrose, I really don't think needed the win tonight because I think they're going to make him look good at Roadblock, and that's all he really needs. I mean, Ambrose is Ambrose. He's going to be over no matter what. He's going to be believable to win no matter what. It's freaking Dean Ambrose. But other than that, I'm going to end this review here because I'm going to end the review